presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and the final homestand of the season begins tonight. Cardinals baseball presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Beautiful night. Fans filing in. A wild card spot is on the line. It's game number one of a four-game series, the Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals. A look at the National League wild card standings. New York will play at Miami tonight. San Francisco the night off. A win for the Cardinals tonight. They'd be tied with the Giants with 6 to go. Jim Hayes is here. That's Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. The Cardinals put Luke Weaver in the bullpen for this game tonight, and taking that spot in the rotation, it'll be Jaime Garcia.
It's a big game for the Cardinals, Dan, to be sure, but it's also a big start for Jaime Garcia. We've seen him in the Cardinals bullpen a couple of times, and the numbers have been very good. Jaime's been sharp, particularly in his game against Colorado. He went 4 innings, gave up just 1 hit in that game. Overall, 10 strikeouts in 6 innings. He seems to have found his command.
The Cardinals, they have hit the most home runs in the National League. 28 of those against the Reds. The Reds have allowed the most home runs. Something has to give at these 4 games. We're about to find out. Baseball coming up. First pitch, it's the Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. Major League Baseball is mourning the loss of Jose Fernandez. His former coach, now analyst of the Miami Marlins, and a former Cardinal, puts it in perspective. The loss of Fernandez to that team and their community.
Let's take it back. Same thing happened. I was on the team with Darryl Kyle when he passed in Chicago. And what the team is going through, what the city is going through, what his family, his mom, that's tough. And being the professional side, this is the human part. He meant so much to the organization, to the city, to the Cuban community, to the kids. So he's going to be greatly missed. And his impact on the game, wow. Sky was the limit, his attitude. But when he did things, he didn't do it halfway. He did it full hardcore. I don't know what to say, but one thing I can say is the kid, the enthusiasm, the love for the game that he had, the love to compete. He never tried to show anybody up. He just wanted to have fun. He risked his life, leaving Cuba with his mom, saved his mom in the middle of the ocean, in the darkness. Wow, we lost him.
Not backing down since 1876. This bug's for you. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. It is fall-like weather here in St. Louis. Playoff weather here in the Gateway City. Jim Hayes, Rick Horton, Dan McLaughlin with you. 69 degrees. And a beautiful night for baseball here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Jose Peraza leads it off for the Cincinnati Reds. And the first pitch by Jaime Garcia is taken for a strike.
Garcia's numbers, this is start number 30 for him. 2 games out of the bullpen, seems to have found that command. We'll see if it translates to this start.
That's it out of play quickly. No balls and 2 strikes. No Billy Hamilton at the top of the lineup for the Reds. You may recall when we were in Cincinnati, he strained his oblique, tried to stay in the game. It's a much more serious issue than we were led to believe, and now he has been shut down, it looks like, for the year. The Cincinnati lineup with Peraza, Suarez, and then Votto, Duvall, Phillips, Schebler, Selski, Barnhart, and Edelman. And the 1-2. Pretty simple, Rick Horton. Play well at home, you probably find yourself in postseason play.
Well, it's really been what the Cardinals have been dealing with all season long, the talk about how poorly they've played at home relative to their road record. And this is a chance to erase that, run the table here in September.
And a leadoff base hit. Peraza, the wide turn around first, and quickly back into the infield. Cardinals defense and around the horn is presented by Dobbs, with Moss, Grichuk, Piscotty in the outfield. Peralta, Jerko, Garcia, Adams on the infield, Yadier Molina behind the plate.
Cardinals defense is going to be a big story in this game tonight. Jaime Garcia gets a lot of ground balls. We know that about him. But the Cardinals defense needs to make plays, and they need to do everything they can to expand their range. There'll be a lot of balls on the infield. You have to make the plays. You have to complete double plays. You can't leave extra outs on the table.
Eugenio Suarez, and a check on Peraza. Suarez is hitting .249, 20 home runs, and he's driven in 65 this year. Well, you saw in our update right before our first pitch, it was Dee Gordon, the leadoff man for the Miami Marlins, hits a home run to start things off against the Mets tonight. And you know how emotional that night and this night will be for the Miami Marlins, and many more to come. Throw by Molina. Safe. Stolen base by Peraza. Cardinals will take a look at it.
Cardinals will look at it, but the Reds are showing again that they like to run against the Cardinals. They've done that all season long. Billy Hamilton, who is not playing, as you said, likes to lead the charge, but Peraza may or may not have stolen base number 17. He's a good young player. It's a tough play by Garcia. I don't know how he hung on to that ball and made the tag, but I do believe he was safe.
I believe Peraza is their shortstop of the future. 2 balls, no strikes on Suarez. For Garcia, it's his first start since September 13th. Takes the rotation spot of Luke Weaver. Gives Adam Wainwright an extra day of rest. And it lines up Waino for the final day of the season. Popped up on 3-0, and the catch is made. It's Stephen Piscotty. What did you say is going to be important tonight?
Defense. Make sure you make the plays. That was not an easy play for Piscotty. That ball had some movement to it on the air. We thought it was going to be in foul territory. Comes back fair. Adams maybe overruns it a little bit. Garcia probably could have caught the ball, but better to have the outfielder coming in. And Piscotty has shown an awful lot of range on the defensive side in right.
I'm not sure that you can pitch even in the first inning right now to Joey Votto. Man in scoring position. The shift on the right side. He is a .372 career hitter against Jaime Garcia. But that's only part of the story. His on-base percentage since the All-Star break, .496. He would join an elite club. Only a couple of players in the expansion era have a on-base percentage of .500 or better in the second half of a season. Ryan Howard, Barry Bonds. That's it. 1-0 pitch, runner goes, throw down to third, and not in time.
Saw that coming. So far off the bag was Johnny Peralta that Yadier Molina had to take his time throwing the ball to third base.
Happened last night. And the Cardinals may challenge this. Did he slide off the bag?
I think they think he did. Wouldn't that be a break?
It seemed to be a pretty harmless play, but the Cardinals challenging here in the first inning. They must see something we haven't picked up.
So there's Peralta getting there late, but he does keep the tag on. The tag is on. Is he off the base? Hard to say. Can't really tell from that angle. That's one of the things you teach infielders is keep the tag on, especially now in the era of reviews and instant replay. And that puts the burden on the runner to not only get to the base but to hang on.
Well, it has to be just an incredibly emotional night, as we mentioned, in Miami. And the Marlins have come out. They've already chased Bartolo Colon 2 1/3, 8 hits, 7 earned, and a 7-0 lead for the Miami Marlins.
Wow.
I go back to an unbelievable article at the time written by Bernie Miklasz. And you may recall he wrote an article about Darryl Kile when he passed away in 2002. And he had visited with Darryl Kile just a couple of weeks prior to Kile passing. And I went back and I looked at it as he may be off the bag, and he is. He's out.
Much better view there.
The quote that Kile gave Bernie Miklasz was, and this is after his father had passed away at the age of 44, in order to be a man, you've got to separate your personal life from your work life. It may sound cold, but I've got work to do. I'll never forget my father, but I'm sure he'd want me to keep on working and try to do the best I can. He is out. Just to finish the thought, I spoke with Tony La Russa a few weeks ago. He said the 2 hardest years he's had in managing, 1996, first in St. Louis, 02 when the passing of Darryl Kile took place, and Jack Buck, and for him personally, his father and also his godfather. And he said that article by Bernie Miklasz helped us come together. This is well hit out into deep left field, and it's 1-0. Joey Votto puts the Reds on top. And Bernie, an incredible writer, and did such a great job with such a delicate situation years ago. What did I say to you before the game, Rick? I just want to know.
Well, you said about 300 or 400 things. Which one did you mean? I think you're probably talking about the fact that you wouldn't pitch to Joey Votto even with 2 outs and nobody on, because he might do some damage. Well, there it is. Fastball up. Votto takes it the other way. Such a good player.
We talked about this scenario right before we went on the air. 2 outs, nobody on. Would you pitch to Votto? I said, I'm not pitching this guy all series.
Then his on-base percentage is surely going to be over 500.
Yep. He is the hottest hitter on the planet, and this is well hit out to deep left, and it's 2-0. Adam Duvall with home run number 32. And you said, well, you got to worry about Duvall as well in this lineup. Quickly, 2-0 Reds.
It's been such an anomaly for Jaime Garcia, the number of home runs he's given up this year. And he's a ground ball pitcher. That's what he does. And he does it when the sinker is down and away. But when the ball is up, middle of the plate, has a flatter sink to it, not the downward sink, teams can elevate it.
And with that, the Cardinals will get activity in the bullpen. Brandon Phillips hitting .288. Back-to-back home runs hit here by the Reds. Goodness. Michael Wacha throwing in the Cardinals pen. Base hit into left. Michael better start throwing in a hurry. That's 4 hits here in the top of the first.
4 hits and a 3-0 pitch that was popped up where the batter got himself out. It's Suarez. So a bad start for Jaime.
And Rick, you're Mike Matheny. I mean, the leash is as short as it possibly can be.
Well, I think there's a number of reasons for that. Obviously, Jaime's last few starts before going to the bullpen made that leash very short, but also you've got 13 pitchers in your bullpen, so plenty of innings,
but not plenty of games.
Exactly right. 7 games on this homestand, and I've had the sense if the Cardinals win 5 out of 7, they're playing playoff baseball. 4 maybe. I think 5 might do it.
Went back and read that article by Bernie Miklasz, and it still resonates even today. You know, just, hey, we're all human beings, we get it, but there's a job to do still. And Miami now coping with a situation that the Cardinals have dealt with 3 different individuals. It was just a beautifully written piece, and Tony La Russa actually printed that article and put it on all the stools of the players when they walked into the clubhouse for one of their games a couple of weeks after the passing of Darryl Kile. And well, your hearts and prayers and thoughts and everything you can imagine go out to the family of the Miami Marlins.
Well, and it is a family, and you find out about the importance of relationships at a time like this. The Cardinals have been through it, and the Marlins, it's a, you know, the games, they go on, but it just, your hearts are so heavy. It's your friend, it's your teammate, it's your brother, it's your family member, it's your organizational key person. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you came at a relationship with Jose Fernandez, and it's just an awful thing, and just really feel for the organization, and there's no 2 ways about it. It will not be easy for them to get through it.
2 outs, runner at first, Brandon Phillips. He's off and running, throw down to second, and 3 stolen bases for the Reds here in the top of the first. Jaime right now looks shell-shocked. The stolen bases, the base hits, pair of home runs.
That was a great jump by Brandon Phillips, who read Garcia, and you could tell right off the bat he was coming home.
Running again, no throw. Wow. Breaking ball and a grounder hit to the right side, taken there by Garcia. 4 hits, 4 stolen bases, a pair of home runs, and an early lead for Cincinnati. Reds, and we've seen him before. He'll get the call for the Reds tonight. And the Reds have an early 2-0 lead here in game 1 of this 4-game series from Busch Stadium. Greg Garcia is in the leadoff spot, hitting .272 with 3 home runs, high on base percentage, and he's driven in 17. Then Stephen Piscotty, Yadier Molina, Matt Adams, Johnny Peralta, Brandon Moss, Jed Jerko, Randall Grichuk, and the pitcher batting ninth, Jaime Garcia. Numbers on Adelman this year, just his 12th start of the season, and his record sits at 2-4.
Cardinals beat him in Cincinnati, but he pitched fairly well. He went 5 innings, only gave up 4 hits. But a couple of those hits were home runs. That has been a problem for him, keeping the ball in the ballpark, which has really been true, as you mentioned earlier, for this entire Red staff. They give up a ton of home runs.
Oh, 1 pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike. Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboards, and the most home runs allowed single season all time, and the Reds, a category they don't want to be in, 246 allowed.
There's only 2 teams in the National League that have given up more than 200. I believe the next team's at like 180, and then you go down to 150. This is astronomical number of home runs. Brian Fisher has had a long summer as far as that's concerned. Brian Price.
Cardinals have hit 213. Their team record 235. Two, and Garcia hits it out to center. Schebler backing up and makes the catch. Reds defensively here tonight. Presentation of Dobbs, Duvall, Schebler, Selski in the outfield. Suarez, Peraza, Phillips, and Votto on the infield. Tucker Barnhart is behind the plate. Numbers on Piscotty. Adelman's last win came on August 19th. He's had 6 starts since then. 0-3 with an ERA near 5.
He's an interesting story. He was a independent league player for 2 years, and so perseverance part of his resume.
Broken bat on a hop hit to short. Peraza stays with it and makes the play.
And when we saw the Reds, he was an outfielder only because Cozart was healthy. Cozart out, Billy Hamilton out. So he's replacing both of those guys in a way. He's playing shortstop and leading off. And this is a prized prospect. He's from Venezuela. You see the good hands, the good arm. And we've already seen him hit and steal bases.
Here's Yadier Molina. What a second half he has had, and overall now hitting above 300. He's at 301 with 7 home runs, and he's driven in 53. Big gap in left center. Grounder hit to short. Peraza up with it, throw up the line, and the tag of Molina. Cardinals go in order, and Michael Wacha, I believe, is coming out of the pen when we come back. Is coming into this ball game from the bullpen, and this is the shortest outing of Garcia's career in terms of starts, surpassing an inning and 2/3 in his last start back on the 13th of this month against the Chicago Cubs.
Well, the command that he found out of the bullpen obviously was not there in the first inning, and a very quick decision by the Cardinals staff to say we're going to need to do something else. And Michael Wacha has been good out of the Cardinals bullpen and seems to have found something himself with the time off, and the velocity's been back for Wacha. That's what we've liked the most, 94, 95.
I mentioned in that first inning 4 stolen bases against the Cardinals, and there was a time, there's a high fly ball into deep right center off the bat of Selski, and that's gone. Third home run, and it's 3-0.
Location down and in. That ball carried a lot more than I thought it would. I thought that was an F9 off the bat of Selski. Just his second home run at the big league level.
That catches the home plate umpire, Tony Randazzo. I was about to say, though, where now the replay is a part of the sport, but where you may have the stolen base stolen, but then you slide out the bag if the tag then applied, still awarded a stolen base. So Yadi giving the home plate umpire a little time.
We've had a couple instances lately in Major League Baseball. I understand one umpire had to be taken off a field. We saw with Brian O'Nora on the last road trip. We had to play with 3 umpires because he got hit with a foul ball. In both of those cases, the umpire was staggering after being hit. Pretty vulnerable position with guys throwing 95 plus now at the big league level.
Three and 1, and so Wacha coming out of the pen and had to get loose in a hurry. Hit the other way, base hit for Tucker Barnhart. That is 6 hits by the first 8 in the lineup for Cincinnati. Here's Adelman. 3 for 17 this year as a hitter. 176 his average. Pops it up, and a foul ball for strike 1.
We've talked about the Cardinals not playing very well at home. Well, that can only be outdone by how poorly the Reds have played on the road. They have the second worst record in all of baseball. Only the Twins have a worse road record than Cincinnati. But boy, they're not playing like it here through an inning and a half. They've come to play. They're swinging it. They'd like nothing more than to be spoilers.
1 ball and 1 strike. The Cardinals finished up their road portion of the schedule, finishing at 48-33. They averaged over 5 runs a contest away from Busch Stadium, best road record. And the Cardinals 33-41 here at home. Adams will tag out Adelman. Runner advancing to second base with 1 down. With MLB.TV Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live in high definition on more than 400 supported devices. Enjoy a free subscription to @Bat Premium. #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV. Top of the lineup and Jose Peraza.
Can sense and feel the disappointment in the ballpark here with the start to this game. And I think of how important the job Yadier Molina has right now to keep Wacha in it, to keep his teammates in it. It's not just his responsibility, it's everybody on the team's responsibility to do that. But pitching has to get better. Cardinals are going to have a chance to come back in this game, and certainly they do. Just can't let the number get too big too fast.
Outfield very shallow for Peraza. You think about that on a potential base hit. With the Reds getting some very comfortable hacks early on in this game.
Okay, Peraza is a good player. When we saw him in Cincinnati, he had 3 hits in 1 game.
Hit to the right side, taken there by Garcia. Eugenio Suarez flied out to right first time up. He's 0 for 1. Remember, he popped out into shallow right on a 3-0 pitch by Garcia, who lasts just 1 inning tonight. You were thinking too at the time, all right, Garcia's got a good chance to get out of the inning unscathed. 2 outs, nobody on. And the solo home run by Votto, solo home run by Duvall. Phillips a base hit. Fly ball lifted out to Randall Grichuk in right center, and the catch is made. Solo home run by Selski, his second. 3-0 Reds. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. And by your local Volkswagen dealer. A look at the Art Museum in Forest Park. Now inside Busch Stadium, 3-0. Reds on top. It'll be Adams, Peralta, and Moss. First pitch, a strike. 3 infielders on the right side for the Reds against Adams, who's hitting .252, and one of 8 Cardinals with 15 or more home runs. He didn't like that call. 0-2.
Surprised that no other National League team had ever done that. 8 guys with 15 or more home runs. Seems like there have been teams that would have maybe done that in the late 90s, early 2000, but this Cardinal team has a lot of power up and down the lineup. And Adams has had some good at-bats, at least lately on the road trip. Thought he was fairly locked in. He had that issue jamming his wrist sliding back into first base, which limited his ability to play every day. He had some soreness there, but I like it when he's in the lineup.
0-2 pitch. He jammed that wrist going back to the bag on a double play. Terrific defensive play in San Francisco.
Great play.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Adams. Outfield is deep. Two. Fouled back.
That's how quick the bat has to be on a pitch inside. Adelman trying to throw it past Adams. He has very good bat speed when he's healthy.
Good pitch down and in, and he struck him out. So strikeout for Adelman. First 4 have been retired, and we take a look at our Toyota keys to the game with Rick.
Well, I think the key here in this game and maybe this entire homestand is that the Cardinals find their thunder. When they were winning more consistently, putting more runs on the board, it took a little bit of the pressure off the starting pitching, which has not been the Cardinals' strongest point this year. But there are some guys in this lineup, you think of Jerko and Moss, that if they could get hot right now, it'd be a good time for it, because you're running out of time. Both those guys are working on some offers. Jerko 0 for 13, Moss 0 for 19. But yet these 2 guys lead the club in home run hitting. Be a good time to find that.
Setting up inside on Peralta, and he pulls it out to left. That'll carry, though, to Duvall. To put it in perspective, what Rick is talking about, Cardinals, you may recall, had the 25-game home run streak. It ended. In that streak, they had 52 homers. They've managed just 12 home runs over the last 18 games. Jerko and Moss, 27 apiece, so got to get it going.
Well, the Reds have found the thunder in this game so far, but a long way from over.
2 outs, nobody on, and Brandon Moss looks at a strike. This has to be one of his toughest stretches of his career. 5 for his last 78 with 29 strikeouts. That's an .064 batting average.
Remember a game that he had against Kyle Davies in Milwaukee, where he just could not handle his changeup, and I think it got him off balance, and he said he had the best changeup he's seen. He has not really been right since then. He's been really struggling with the changeup, and that's what Matt Adams struck out on in this inning. And then if you wait back on it, then you're late on the fastball. You're in between, and that's happened a lot with Brandon in the month of September.
2-1 pitch, 2-2. And Adelman thus far has been getting ahead of these hitters. 6 of 6 first pitch strikes, which then really sets up the changeup and the various things that he can do, especially against a guy like Moss.
That last pitch, he was ahead of the changeup. He might duplicate it. No, he's behind on the fastball. Exactly what we're talking about, those last 2 pitches.
Struck him out. 2 in the inning, 2 in the game. We played 2. 3-0 Cincinnati. Matt Carpenter not in the lineup tonight. With more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, Dan, he's dealing with a sore middle finger on his right hand. Mike Matheny says it's something Carpenter has been bothered by on and off for a while. He told me it seems to be flaring up anytime he doesn't square up a ball. A swing and a miss, or yesterday the base hit off the end of the bat rings that finger and it affects the strength in it. Matheny added, you can tell Matt is just not able to finish some of his swings. Dan, as Mike put it, they're sitting him tonight in an effort to stay in front of the situation. So they're hoping a little rest and the finger does a little healing. He could be back in there.
6 games to go after tonight. The concern from the Cardinals' perspective is, bottom line, you're running out of time. Is an 80% Matt Carpenter better than no Matt Carpenter? There's Adam Duvall, solo home run. 1 for 1 tonight. That pitch taken low. 2 balls and no strikes. Miami leads their ball game in the top of the 5th over the Mets. 7-0. San Francisco with the night off. Duvall pops it up. Yachty in foul territory. Then Adams, and he makes the catch.
Sometimes you make a catch and it's a thing of beauty. Sometimes you make a catch and it's funny.
But you know what? You made the catch.
That's right.
All right, not the most graceful play we've ever seen, but an outs and out. Here's Brandon Phillips, single to left. Picked up a couple of stolen bases back in the first. And a breaking ball is in there for a strike. Yeah, from the Cardinals' perspective, yeah, it's a bad start, but long way to go in this game, and a bullpen that's been ineffective for the most part this year. And that's the way you have to look at it.
You have to score to win anyway, and the Cardinals' offense certainly capable of scoring against Adelman. And if you look forward, he's not a guy that goes deep into games either. And the Reds bullpen has a couple of bright spots, but we'll explore that throughout the series. They've had their struggles too.
In the dirt. That's it out of play. A line drive that is foul. Tonight's attendance will be below 40,000 for the first time since September 24th of 2013. A streak of 240 games, an amazing number for a market this size. But once again, the fans have delivered in big numbers. And Phillips still alive. Foul tip hit the dirt. Total attendance for the year will be over 3.4 million, 5th highest in franchise history, 2nd in Major League Baseball only to the Dodgers, and 3 million tickets plus sold for the 13th consecutive year, 20th time in franchise history.
And a late rush for this particular homestand, with the Cardinals having meaningful games. Of course, schools are back in session. That affects attendance, but the weather is going to be so good this week, and every game you feel like this is like a playoff game, but it's certainly September baseball with wins imperative at the moment.
Doing just some of the numbers, and you don't like to project too much, but it is a tough stretch here for the Cardinals. Even if they go 5-2, the Mets could go 500 and be in the tiebreaker. The Giants 4-2, they'd be in the tiebreaker. So that's with your idea of winning 5 of 7, which for all intents and purposes the Cardinals have to do.
The Giants are at home, but their schedule is tougher.
They've got Colorado and LA still remaining, and that's lined foul. BJC Healthcare difference maker, the remaining schedule. The Mets, what they have left, Miami and Philly, Giants, Colorado, and the Dodgers, and the Cardinals 4 here with Cincinnati. Wrap it up over the weekend against Pittsburgh. 3-2 is hit up the middle, and a base hit under the glove of Garcia, and Phillips is 2 for 2.
Cardinals have certainly had their issues with consistency in 2016, but as we talk about the wild card race, the Giants have the worst record in the National League since the All-Star break. That's hard to believe when you've got Bumgarner in your rotation. He's not quite the same. Their bullpen is struggling mightily night after night. And even though they're playing at home, Colorado and LA, it's conceivable they would maybe win 2 of those games. But you take care of your own business first.
Strike 2, Scott Schebler. Rounded out his first time up. 344 the average, 20 runs scored over his last 34, and that's why he has moved up in the lineup. Had been hitting second, and at one point was hitting 8th. And tonight he's batting 6th. Oh-2 pitch, struck him out. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and the first strikeout for Michael Wacha. Midway through 3, Reds on top. On the run when the Cardinals score 6, any size drink, just 50 cents the next day. Coffee, fountain, frozen drinks. When they score, you pour at your nearest On the Run. You earned it. Cardinals looking for their first hit of the night. That young lady has her hands full. And it's Jed Jerko with 27 home runs, followed by Grichuk with 23, and then the pitcher spot, Michael Wacha. Fly ball out to right. Selski with the catch.
Ball is carrying tonight.
It is. Couldn't agree more.
I didn't think Selski's ball was going to be a home run. Votto's I did. Duvall's I did. So it's not a matter of making an excuse about it. But after what we saw on the road trip, the ball is definitely carrying more here in St. Louis on this particular night, and you'd think that would bode well for a team that hits a lot of home runs. We shall see.
One out and nobody on, and here's Randal Grichuk, the Cardinals center fielder.
Here's where you say the other team's pitcher, Adelman, has a no-hitter going, Dan. This is where you say that, and then you create the jinx so Grichuk gets the hit.
Because you know we do control it.
Exactly.
As long as you're on the same page that he does have a no-hitter going.
We'll show it graphically. We'll talk about it.
Two and one.
Right around 91, 92. Nothing crazy from Adelman. Has a curveball and a changeup. He's used the changeup well here. He went to Georgetown. How about that?
That's ripped out to left. And the catch made by Duvall.
Well, that didn't work.
And again, the guys in the truck showing you graphically there are no hits allowed by Adelman.
Here's another way to go about this. See, we're seasoned at this. We've been through this. Michael Wacha's got no chance to get a hit against this guy.
I was just thinking this is going to be the guy that does it.
Yeah, there's no chance. He's got no chance.
And a strike to Michael Wacha. Pitch arsenal on Tim Adelman. Fastball, curve, and change. And as Rick said, nothing really fancy about it. Comes right at the hitters. 0-2. Cardinals have won just one of their past 7 home series. And that one win in that series was against the Cincinnati Reds.
That didn't work either.
Nice job, Rick.
Let me go back to the drawing board.
9 up and 9 down.
What do I do?
Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed, Skip and Shannon. Weekdays, 8:30 only on FS1. That's the Moon Man, not Shannon Sharp.
We've got our own Shannon.
Oh, do we? I would love to see him on Undisputed.
Oh, my. Me too.
And a strike to Steve Selski. First man that Wacha faced back in the second in relief of Garcia. And he hit a home run. You were on the radio side last night, Rick, for the Cubs and the Cardinals, and watching the game. It's such a beautiful tribute. Basically the entire game. There's a base hit to Jose Fernandez. And I had watched prior to the Cardinals game the final inning and a couple innings really of Vince Scully at Dodger Stadium. He'll call the games in San Francisco this weekend, and then they broke in with the passing of Arnold Palmer. And I was just thinking about it, watching that when they broke in with the news of Arnold Palmer, that, you know, here's a man that I believe was 87 and Vin is 89, and, you know, Jose Fernandez was just getting going with his life. You know, those are two full lives in Scully and Palmer, and to lose Jose Fernandez at such a young age, and you would hope the best in front of him, it's just very, very sad.
For sports enthusiasts, there was such an odd mixture of emotions. If you're hearing about all that news, there's no question. I mean, the terrible sadness about Fernandez and the, you know, the joy of thinking of the life that Arnold Palmer led, and the thrills that he gave us as a golfer, and of course Vin Scully, having a chance to be around him. I'm just excited for him. I'm happy that he is kind of closing that chapter, and he did it in such a dramatic way too in Los Angeles.
A walk-off to win the National League West.
So a guy who could tell stories as well as anybody had the game unfold in front of him in a storybook way.
Yeah.
I think that's very fitting for Vin Scully.
Here's an 0-2. A pickoff back down to first, and in there safely is Selski. Yesterday, KMOX with Mike Kelly, who hosts that program every Sunday morning, played the final inning of Sandy Koufax's perfect game. They still had the audio from that, and it was like listening to Vin Scully now. Not a lot had changed, you know, and here he is doing it solo broadcast at the age of 89. Just incredible. A base hit by Barnhart, and so the first two have reached here in the fourth.
Nine hits already for Cincinnati.
Adelman had a sacrifice his first time up. Up and in.
I'm not sure if he bunted at that or if he fended that ball off.
Self-defense? Maybe so.
It's a strike either way. Look at how the Cardinals will defend it. Adams in at first. Peralta near the grass at third. He has to hang back in case there's a play at third.
Strike two.
Billy Hatcher may be talking about the bat angle. You can see that well as the third base coach. Is he really getting that bat angle towards third or not? That's really where he ought to be bunting this ball, is towards third, square early.
And the bunt is down. Wacha to Garcia covering the bag at first. So Adelman, two sacrifices, runners at second and third, and only one down.
Cardinals are going to have to cut off this run by playing the infield in, or at least hopefully successful sacrifice. You get credit for that from your teammates. Cardinals infield
this becomes a huge at bat in this game. Fouled back for strike one. Hitting .255 with runners in scoring position. Outfield is shallow as well. Runners at second and third, and the 0-1. Shallow right center. Catch made by Grichuk. Throw to the plate is cut off, and a run will score. RBI number 25, and it's now a 4-0 Cincinnati lead.
Grichuk and Piscotty perhaps having a conversation about whose ball that should have been. Both players were coming from a severe angle, which made it hard to get behind the baseball to throw it home. We've seen both of them actually throw very well lately, Grichuk and Piscotty. But who's got the better chance to making a good throw? And I'm not sure it would have mattered either way. Selski appears to be pretty quick with the base running. He scored easily.
And Eugenio Suarez flied out to right, also fly to center. 2 outs, runner at second, and a 4-0 Reds lead. Cleveland can clinch the American League Central if they win in Detroit tonight. Boston also can clinch a tie if the Yankees win in Toronto. That would be for the American League East.
And the Cubs could win their 100th.
Wouldn't that be something? Joey Votto is on deck and holding court with some of the fans. Cubs lead 11-0 over the Pirates. And that's a base hit into right field. It's now a 5-0 Cincinnati lead. RBI number 66.
Well, they're all swinging it. Everybody in the lineup. That pitch, center cut, not a good location. Schebler, who hurt the Cardinals in Cincinnati, is the only guy that doesn't have a productive at bat yet. Luke Weaver getting loose.
That's already 10 hits by the Reds. Joey Votto at the plate. Solo home run back in the first inning. And a 1-0 pitch. Luke Weaver, as you just saw, starting to get loose in the Cardinals' pen. 5-0 Reds. You can hear a pin drop right now at Busch Stadium. Walker just has not had that changeup, has he?
Now it's the velocity's there. He's throwing 96. That's about as much as you're going to see from Michael Wacha. The velocity's been good, but the off-speed pitches are the pitches that create options for him, which make him better.
Off the glove of Adams. Votto hustling, and he's safe. Make that 11 hits.
That's a tough chance. Could have turned out better. Sticks in Adams' glove, but really tough attempt on the backhand and squirts away from him even worse. Boy, just not going the Cardinals' way. But you have to make it go your way.
The team right now looks extremely flat. Hyundai pitch arsenal here for Michael Wacha. And you'd hate to think that with so much on the line, but Garcia came out first inning, gave up a couple of home runs, and now a base hit to left. Throw by Moss. Not in time. 6-0 Reds.
All smiles for Cincinnati. Not a bad throw by Brandon Moss, right on the money, but not in time. So that good jump produces yet another run, 6-0. I've never been a big fan of the term being flat, Danny, only because I think your starting pitching can make you flat.
Sure.
If the Cardinals starting pitching was good this game, you'd say, oh, it was a good crisp 3 innings of play and no score yet, and it wouldn't feel flat. But when the starting pitching out of the gate does not perform, it creates this just pall over the stadium that makes it look like things are flat. Now I don't like that expression, as I said, but I think that's the result of not having a good start.
Garcia gave up 2 in the first, and now Walker has given up 4 in 2 2/3. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Phillips.
I think that's one thing we found out this season in 2016 is just how important starting pitching is. If you're a fan of the Cubs, you know how important it is.
1 through 5, they've been great.
And they throw in 6 and 7 every once in a while too, and they've been great.
9 seems to be unhittable. Runners at first and second, and the 0-2 pitch. Tapped foul by Phillips.
Well, the glimmer of, I'm not sure hope's the right word, but you saw the Met game the other day where they were losing 10-0 after 4. And I guess the bad part of that story that I just started is the Phillies ended up losing or the Mets ended up losing anyway. But they got the tying run at the plate in the 8th and 9th inning and came back and lost 10-8.
Rick, that game started 10-0.
Right.
Well, when I say flat, I mean the tough chance there for Adams. He doesn't come up with it.
Right.
This ball that gets by Yachty. You haven't seen a base hit yet. I mean, all those things. And the number one issue, though, as you mentioned, the pitching. And the pitching just hasn't been there tonight.
It leads to some of those other things.
Yes. Runners at second and third. Phillips out to right, and that's a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes another. Throw to second, not in time, and 2 runs scored. Phillips is now 3 for 3. 8-0 Cincinnati.
Plans A and B didn't work. Mike Matheny's going to have to go to plan C, and very rarely do you hear boos here at Busch Stadium. But we just heard them.
the bullpen, and this will be his 9th appearance. He had 8 starts, 1-4 the record, ERA just under 5 in 35 2/3 innings.
He had 6 good starts, and then he had 2 bad ones back to back, and both games just spiraled away from him. You know, he's shown that he certainly has a chance to be a really good big league pitcher. Terrific minor league numbers. Last 2 outings were certainly forgettable for Weaver. But here's an opportunity again to show something.
6 hits in the inning, 13 in the game for the Cincinnati Reds, and a good changeup. Schebler, the 9th man to come to the dish on what has been thus far a forgettable night for the Cardinals. Six of the 8 runs have been scored with 2 outs for Cincinnati in this game. One ball and 1 strike. Inside.
For Weaver, it's all about command, hitting corners. Doesn't walk very many.
Pulled foul.
And the changeup we just saw there is perhaps his best pitch.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Phillips, your runner at second. The fastball misses outside at 94. Not a big guy, but throws fairly hard.
Gets a lot out of his rather small frame, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Really athletic.
And Schebler is hit by the pitch.
Trying to get it in. I don't think there's any intent there that you might read into when you look at all the big numbers on the board. I just think that was a pitch he was trying to have come back over the inside corner against the lefty, sink it back in, and it, fortunately for Weaver, pulled across and hit him in the leg.
So 2 outs and 2 on. The inning started with this man at the plate, Steve Selski. He's 2 for 2. Home run and a base hit. His single to left. Well, this is clearly not what we anticipated here tonight. 8-0 Reds.
I'll say.
Into right field. This may drop, and it will. Another chance for Piscotty as he fires home, and it's cut off. Phillips scores, and it's now a 9-0 Reds lead. And Selski is 3 for 3, and that's 14 hits. And we're not even through 4.
Just going from bad to worse, isn't it? This ball does not carry to the right fielder. A little bit off the end of the bat, so Piscotty has to play it on 1 hop. There's a strong throw. I'm not sure why Matt Adams cut that ball, frankly.
A fly ball lifted down the left field line and out of play. It's 9-0. And we keep saying, well, you're running out of time. However, if you're Mike Matheny, do you start to get the regulars out of there?
You have to get them off the field first.
So let's just say they at some point do get off the field.
It'll happen. It's bound to.
Then does he take some of the regulars out? I mean, it's something you got to think about, right?
Well, the good part of that is you can get guys out that need to be out, but you don't want guys out that are trying to get their timing back.
Right.
You wouldn't take Brandon Moss out. You wouldn't take Jerko out.
Into center field. That's a base hit, number 15 of the night. Throw to the plate is cut off by Adams. And Barnhart is 3 for 3.
Again, middle location from Luke Weaver. Too many pitches out over the heart of the plate.
Adelman at the plate. A couple of sacrifices in this game. It's a 10-0 lead for the Reds. They picked up 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and now 7 here in the fourth. Two-one pitch. Little chopper and a flip to second. Is brought to you by T-Mobile, and we also want to remind you about the Cooper Tires Fireworks Night. That's Friday, September 30th. That's coming up this Friday. The growth poster, Missouri Farmers Care, featuring Stephen Piscotty, and that's all coming up on Friday night. And for your greater coverage of baseball, here's a look at it, presented by T-Mobile. Bartolo Colon roughed up tonight, and for the Giants, their next game is tomorrow. And they'll have the lefty Moore going in that game against the Rockies.
Cubs are winning 11-0 in their game too. So what's going on? Is this a full moon?
Crazy.
I don't see it. Do you?
No. So 15 hits for Cincinnati, 10-run lead, and we are only in the fourth. Top of the lineup, it's Garcia, Piscotty, and Molina.
There's our full moon.
Jim Jackson there on the left, Mike Shannon on the right. Jim Jackson, the producer, engineer, and he's been doing this a long time. It does a great job.
He is phenomenal. He is the sanity among all of us that work on in the TV radio world. What would we do without Jim Jackson? I mean, none of us are normal. Seriously, he's normal. He listens to us, kind of nods his head.
Goes along with it.
Goes along with it. He probably goes into a room somewhere and starts screaming.
That's for the next 4 months after the season ends. They put a straitjacket on him and goes into a padded room, and then we wake him up for spring training.
Wonderful man.
Greg Garcia pops it up into shallow left. And Duvall is under it, makes the catch for the out. Cardinals still looking for their first hit as we play here in the bottom of the fourth.
We tried that.
It's coming.
Piscotty has looked better the last few days.
Agreed.
Started to get his timing back again. He wasn't really together in his swing, Dan. That's the best way I could describe it. Either the body was turning too quickly, the hands were too slow, a little bit behind on pitches, but everything has started to come together for him. He had a home run in Wrigley Field that was a well-timed bomb. I didn't hear the distance, but it had to be 425 plus.
Fly ball out to deep right field. Going back, Selski. And it's off the wall. Piscotty racing to third, and he's in there with the first Cardinal hit. It's a triple. A foot or two shy from his 23rd home run of the year.
Piscotty drives it the other way. Again, there's his well-timed swing. I thought that was gone too. Piscotty does a lot of things well, including run the bases. And as he slid into third, there was another ball in play that came out of the umpire's ball bag. How about that? That would have been interesting.
Molina out to deep right. Selski backing up. Piscotty will tag up, and the Cardinals get on the board on Molina's RBI number 54. And it brings in Matt Adams. That may be a conversation about coming out of this game. Could be.
I think Yadi being on an 11-game hitting streak is the least of everybody's worries at the moment. I think that's a good conversation to have right now. We've seen Carson Kelly get some important innings. Perhaps the Cardinal catcher of the future. Not the near future, the distant future. Yadi's got plenty in him.
Adams with a high fly ball into center. Under it is Schebler, and he makes the catch. Looks like the night is through for Yadier Molina, and young Carson Kelly will take over behind the plate. Carson Kelly takes over behind the plate. So here's a battery of Weaver and Kelly and a look at the future here for the Cardinals. Takes over for Yadier Molina. 10-1 our score. Top of the lineup, Peraza here in inning number 5. So he lifts that ball down the right field line and out of play. Reds have out hit the Cardinals 15-1 and they lead 10-1.
Searching for the right way to explain my thoughts further about the flat comment, Dan.
And Weaver has hit his second man tonight.
And I think one of the ways I would describe the way this game is played, you know, it's a different, baseball's different than other sports. I think emotion follows performance, doesn't necessarily precede performance. So when the performance is bad, you can be all excited, as excited as you want, but if you're losing 10-1, it's phony. And that's why I've never been a big fan of the flat terminology. The flat to me is just you're not playing well. You're not performing. You're not executing. I mean, what is there so far in this game to get excited about? Now, what you don't want to happen is for the team to give up or to not keep fighting and not keep digging. And I don't think that's going to happen with these guys. But 10-1, that hurts.
I'm excited about 3 hours with you, Rick. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Win, lose, draw. I mean, I'm just pumped.
So you're not going to be flat.
I am not flat.
Okay.
No, sir. 3 quality hours with you in a 10-1 game. Sign me up. 1-2 the count. And we're having a little fun, but we understand the frustration of so many watching this game at home, and believe me, we feel the frustration too.
You can't help but to feel it.
Yeah. A strikeout of Suarez. When this happens in middle of a season, you say, well, it's just one of those games.
Yeah, it's a laugher, and you actually do laugh about it, and you say, well, just get him tomorrow. Well, running out of tomorrows.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it.
That's the point.
That's what makes it harder to deal with emotionally. And then there's a sympathetic feel you have, and then there's an empathic feel. I mean, am I actually feeling it along with them? As a fan, you do. I mean, you get mad. It ruins your day when your team's down 10-1. I know. I get it. You're all excited to sit down and come to a ball game and watch your favorite team play, and you're down by a touchdown plus
in a pennant race. Kubota power stats here on Joey Votto. An incredible second half that he has had. OPS leaders, Votto at 967, and you look at his season numbers and where it all began for him. Terrible April, slow May, and then started to get it going.
People all the time ask us about OPS. I would say 15% of our audience knows what that is.
On base plus slugging.
So it's a measure of your ability to not only get on, but your power. And you put those two things together, that's OPS. So when you've got the ability to do both, you've got a special player. They tend to be the MVP type candidates.
I said the other day that if Colorado was in the race, Nolan Arenado would be your MVP. And it always brings up the debate, is it the most valuable player on a good team, bad team, doesn't matter, or is he the most valuable player to a team that's headed to postseason play, which then you talk about Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, those types of players, which would be in the conversation anyway, but they've had such an incredible year, it adds to it.
My feeling is that it's not as voted by the writers either. It's whatever they feel that particular year and wherever the wind kind of blows them that year, because they've done both. Andre Dawson
beat out Ozzie.
with a last place Cubs team.
Right.
And then one year it was really important that they were a good defender. I believe Jimmy Rollins won one year because speed became an issue.
There's a walk by Weaver. There's 2 on with 1 out. I don't think there's any debate, though, that no team right now in the wild card is running away with it. I mean, here are the Mets losing 7-2. The Giants' best record in all of baseball in the first half, and they could be on the outside looking in. And the Cardinals have been right around, 5 above 500 for basically the entire year.
We've been talking about the wild card quite a bit throughout the season and talking about how you just get in and maybe you can do damage in October. And there are teams that have done that. But that normally happens when a team's fighting for the wild card and they're playing well.
Right.
And they carry it into October, not a team that backs in. So none of these 3 teams are going to go very far if they don't figure out how to be more competitive.
And I could make a case for all 3 teams as to why one would be dangerous. Cardinals hit a ton of home runs. You look at San Francisco, Bumgarner and Cueto. The Mets have been there before with last year's team, and they are the one team that you'd say, well, they've gotten a little hot, but now tailing off here in the last 15 days or so. I mean, the Mets don't even have their rotation.
They don't. They don't have
with the
half their
exception
rotation.
of Colon left. That's well hit. Out to deep left and gone. 3-run homer, Adam Duvall, and that's number 32. His second home run in this game.
Just when you think it can't get any worse, Dan.
I think if you're Mike Matheny too, Rick, is that you've got a young guy out there, Luke Weaver. Last 2 starts have not been good, and this one isn't pretty tonight. You don't want him out there getting beat up.
No, he's not going to stay out there very long. Again, the Cardinals have a ton of pitchers in their bullpen. You're not going to have to worry about innings problems. You don't have to pitch a position player at any point in this game. You're never going to have to get to that point, I wouldn't think. But you do worry about the psyche of a young pitcher.
Absolutely. And that's what I mean.
And that makes him different than Wacha, than Garcia.
16 hits, 13-1 the score.
Boy, how much fun are they having?
Mets trailing in their game 7-2. Justin Bour is a home run away for the Marlins from the cycle. And in that game, Dee Gordon, I mentioned the home run to start the night offensively for the Marlins. Apparently he took the first pitch from the right side of the plate to honor Jose Fernandez, right-handed hitter. Dee Gordon hits from the left side. That was his first home run this year. 2-1 pitch. Phillips into right. He's had a big night. That's a fair ball, and he is 4 for 4. Touched by a fan who tried to flip it to Piscotty a little late. And that'll be it for Luke Weaver, I would imagine.
And maybe that fan in that seat.
And he's saying, you're going to kick me out? Thanks for doing me a favor.
I think he may be reassigned. Here, you take it. I didn't do it. Wasn't me. Well, maybe it was.
And that fan is on his way out. Apparently the Cardinals are going to give him some money as well to find some new shorts. It's our Chevy call to the pen, and Dean Kiekeffer will come on when we come back. The Reds have 17 hits. They are one shy of their season high, which was 18 back on August 20th, and that was against the Dodgers. So one out, runner at second base. Brandon Phillips, who is 4 for 4 tonight, now brings in Schebler.
Does this game almost feel surreal to you?
Yes.
Some games are works of art. This one feels like a Salvatore Dali.
The way I look at it, Rick, is that you could be watching this, or one of the other alternatives is the presidential debate, so I'll take this.
Sign me up. Still our guys. Win, lose, or draw.
That's tapped foul.
I'm sure there'll be more hits in that event.
Low blows.
Oh, yeah.
Schebler is 0 for 2, and his teammates are saying, what's wrong with you? Was hit by a pitch that was Weaver back in the 4th, and he strikes out. So Kiekefer gets a strikeout, and there's 2 away here in inning number 5. Don't forget to purchase a special Bud Bash themed ticket tomorrow's game against the Reds, and you'll have also a VIP chance. All access to a pregame autograph session with Randy Flores. Tickets at cardinals.com/budbash. One of our favorites, Randy Flores. You know, we get a lot of people that ask us about Jose Oquendo. Will he or will he not come back? My understanding is he's really enjoying working with the first-round pick Delvin Perez, pick of Randy Flores and the Cardinals. There's a base hit, and here comes Phillips. Throw to the plate is offline. Kelly struggled to get it out of the glove and safe at second base. So while I was rudely interrupted, Delvin Perez is the first pick by the Cardinals, and apparently Jose would really like to work with him, and we're not sure if he's going to come back or not. The door is open, but we'll see.
And the 3 Cardinal A club, they're 3 short A clubs which start play around the time of the draft. They don't have a full 150 game schedule as the other minor league teams do, but the 3A clubs were all champions in their league, and the draft picks from Randy Flores and the scouts and the development people deserve a lot of credit for that, and that's obviously going to bode well for the future. A lot of good position players in the draft, very good up the middle, a number of good shortstops and center fielders, and some speed in that mix. So
I like that.
Yeah, it's all good. That's good news. That's not today, but good news for tomorrow.
Numbers 7 and 8 in this lineup had been 7 for 7. They're now 7 for 8. Plus, get the StubHub app. Not only will you find seats you'll love whenever you want, you can find the best seat for your buck when you sort by the best value. So get that StubHub app today. My partner and our producer, Brian McCann, Rick Horton and Brian McCann, completed the Chicago Half Marathon yesterday. Congratulations.
Took me about half the day to do it.
Doesn't matter. You did it.
Brian and his wife Carrie much faster, but we got it done yesterday. Had a great time with it, especially when it was over.
Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you, Dan.
There's a fly ball into the corner. This ball is fair. Off the bat of Peralta on his way to second base.
I was waiting for your segue from my half marathon yesterday to tonight's ball game, and I didn't get it. I'm a little disappointed.
Just letting it sit.
Okay.
Let you just absorb the tension-filled Pettit drive right now.
Peralta's had a good last 10 days. He had 364 on the road trip. And all you can do is just keep swinging. I mentioned keeping Brandon Moss in the game, keeping Jerko in the game, not for any other reason than it's just an extra at bat to maybe find something with your timing.
Well, this is the one I couldn't agree more with. I mean, Moss, as you mentioned, Cardinals hit a ton of home runs. He's a big part of it, 27 of them. But recently, he's just not been right at the plate. And with 6 games to go after tonight, you'd love to see a push out of Brandon Moss.
You know, the old expression, you don't think your way out of a slump, you hit your way out. Classic baseball expression that goes all the way back to Ty Cobb, I would guess.
It was High Pockets Kelly, actually. But no big deal. I know where you're going, Rick. Moss fights it off, but popped up, and the catch is made.
Every time DJ LeMahieu comes to the plate, I think about you and I talking about High Pockets Kelly.
Tall second baseman in the game, High Pockets Kelly. Here's Jed Jerko, flied out to right. Mike Myers.
Whoa, is he crossed up? Wow. Okay, one's a fastball, two's a curve. All right.
Pitch count only at 47 as we play here in the bottom of the 5th. No balls and a strike on Jed Jerko. Fly to right his first time up. Fights it off, and a foul ball.
One thing about this Cardinal team is they have had moments where you think, wow, it's not going well. And tonight would be one of those moments squared. But then they come around the next day and win a game, and all of a sudden you just have a change of emotion about the team's chances. We've been up and down on that roller coaster for the last month.
Pulled foul.
Dan, I felt that the third game in San Francisco on the road trip, the Cardinals were losing in the 8th inning of that game and getting ready to lose 3 straight to the Giants.
In the 9th with 2 outs and nobody on.
Game's over. I felt like the season was over at that moment.
Would have put you 4 back with 14 to play.
They win that game. Then they win again. Then they win again. And all of a sudden you look at the wild card standings and you're tied again. And you think, how did that happen? And I think this team has the ability to do that. They bounce back well. They're resilient. This is a bad game. Going to end up being a bad loss. No 2 ways about it. But tomorrow, we'll see.
I liken it to The Godfather. Michael Corleone, or as you know him as Corleone.
I can't wait to hear this one.
He says, every time I think I'm out,
They
pull me back in.
You're speaking about the fans now, the Cardinal 2016 team.
Yeah. And that's how I feel.
And we are a family.
Up the middle and a base hit. Peralta being waved home. Throw is cut off by Votto and a run scores to make it 14-2. RBI 55 for Jedd Gyorko. But I know what you're saying. I mean, you think about this team, and there have not been extended winning streaks, but then there haven't been extended losing streaks.
That's right. So the resiliency that they have, and they really do have it. We've seen it all season long, a resiliency, but we also see that they struggle with success. Once success happens, it just doesn't keep going. Well chronicled how hard it's been to reach the +10 mark over 500. Multiple chances to get there, but still think starting pitching is 80% of it.
I think your comment about being flat is spot on. I mean, there's been some things where you look at the game tonight and you say, well, that play is made and that didn't look pretty, but it all has started with your pitching. And I think you can understand with the lack of success that Garcia's had recently as a starter as to why Mike Matheny makes that move in the first inning.
And some would say they wonder why he was in there in the first place. But if you saw Garcia pitch out of the bullpen the last 2 times and the rough starts for Luke Weaver, I think it was a logical choice to put your hopes there. I mean, do you know it's going to happen? No. Do you know he's going to have a good game? No. But all you can do as a manager is go with your best shot.
Hit out of play.
In an odd way, Dan, there are times where you are so relaxed in a game like this. I mean, the pressure of this game that you felt as a player in inning number 1 and warming up and getting loose, and that's gone right now. So now you're just a little freer and looser, and some hitters that may help them.
Hit sharply to third. The turn by Phillips and a double play. Cardinals pick up a run. RBI for Gyorko. 14-2 Cincinnati. At 6:30, it's our Budweiser What's on Tap. Obviously, an emotional 24 hours for so many in baseball, and certainly for that young man right there, Aledmys Diaz. Grew up on the same street as Jose Fernandez in Cuba. His father taught Fernandez the game of baseball. Those two very close. My understanding is that Diaz was at a memorial service held today. There's a shot of them. Wow, together as teammates, as kids. Goodness.
Oh boy.
First pitch is a fly ball into left. New left fielder is, no, Moss is still in there. New center fielder is Tommy Pham. New right fielder is Jeremy Hazelbaker. Well, that picture is gripping, isn't it?
Well, one thing,
oh man,
one thing I was reminded of, and even that picture reminds me of it even more, when a team deals with something like this. The Cardinal family certainly has. Our call to the bullpen, Mike Myers, but the Darryl Kile death during the season, and Josh Hancock and Oscar Taveras. One of the things when you're around these young players, you know, Aledmys Diaz is 25 years old. I mean, this may be, you know, the closest or the first time he's dealt with the passing of a friend or somebody his age. And so you've got a lot of young guys in this game that are dealing with the emotions of this death, maybe for the first time.
Picture of Eduardo Perez there on the left. It's a selfie from spring training. Aledmys Diaz and Jose Fernandez. So Diaz, I'm not sure if we our cameras caught that. We were back from commercial break, but I saw it during the commercial. We had a camera shot of him. Here's a wristband with, there it is, number 16 on it. Number worn by Jose Fernandez. You make such a good point, Rick. I mean, these are young people we're talking about. We forget that all too often. These are, you know, 22-year-old kids, some of them, if not younger.
And they believe they're invincible, and they believe everybody they know is.
Fans that don't know, you were serving for the Cardinals at the death of Darryl Kile as the team chaplain. So you were behind the scenes for a lot of that with the players, and it's obviously very tough.
Was around them for weeks, and many others were, and walking through some things with some players, and it's not just the players. There's coaches, clubhouse personnel, team employees that are connected to players and their families and the wives, etc. It is a family, Dan, and it's a terrible loss.
and as a manager dealing with loss with a teammate or a player that played for him. And we asked him about how you deal with that before the game.
Well, first of all, you know, there's no one uniform way to grieve, and so each person is going to go through tough times differently. And so what the benefit of it being something happening during the season is that we have an opportunity to start conversations and then use some of the people and the resources around here to get guys help if they need it. And sometimes, you know, they do need somebody outside of this clubhouse to talk with, and but there's also great opportunities for many of these players who have been through similar tragedy to sit in a group of people that they trust and just have real conversations. So I think that's probably the most important thing, is for guys to be real and put away some of the facade and be honest with other people about where they are, what they're struggling with, and then we all figure out how to help each other.
Well put by Mike Matheny. I'll never forget the shot after Darryl Kile had passed away, and I think it was in the Post-Dispatch maybe the next morning, but there's a famous picture, unfortunately, of Kyle's jersey hanging in the dugout of Wrigley Field, and you can see Mike Matheny walking to where the jersey was hanging in the dugout as Hazelbaker grounds out to short, and as he's walking back up towards the clubhouse, he puts his hand with his head down, and his hand is on the jersey of Darryl Kile. I mean, he's right. There's no exact science how to deal with something like this.
Mike was a leader on the team at the time, and not to be too specific about things, but Mike was involved with a number of us in planning Darryl Kile's memorial service here at the field. Very close to Darryl. He was speaking for a number of the other teammates that were close to him. Dave Veers probably the closest, who was in connection to his widow, Flynn, and Mike had the leadership at the time as a player to help us all think about what the right things were that needed to be done, and he was going through it himself.
One thing I think about with Jose Fernandez, we did so many games against the Marlins, and we'll continue to do that in spring training. Mike Helling, our longtime producer, and I talked about one day seeing as Greg Garcia singles into center field. We just noticed, and we talk about how, you know, it's an intimate setting for the players and how close the fans are to the players in spring training, but we noticed there was a game in which Fernandez went 3 or 4 innings, made the start, and Rick, he signed for 4 more full innings for every fan and took a picture and signed autographs, and he did it every single time that he would pitch, or even times when he would just pop out of the dugout and start back towards the Miami clubhouse. He was terrific with the fans, and he did understand his responsibility of being a professional athlete, but also the understanding of what Miami and the Marlins mean to that community, specifically those Cuban Americans or those that had defected from Cuba that were fans of the Marlins, and certainly fans of his. Always was signing autographs.
Well, and we understand that for some folks that maybe aren't as close to the situation, or even to some of the players, that, you know, we're discussing this a day later, and it's our first chance to communicate that to our Cardinal fan base, kind of what we think about it, but also to try to extend some of the reality of what those guys are going through. The reminder that they're people, they're players, but they're people first. And I think it's good for us to at least have some conversation about it.
I sat down with Jose Fernandez, of all places, waiting to get a haircut. Guy that cuts our hair down in the spring training is the same guy, and so we're waiting on him, and it was like we're 2 old buddies just picking up and talking baseball. He was tremendous to talk to, and had a chance to forge a little bit of a relationship with him with that. And then the next day I got him on the air with us. I said, hey, by the way, do you want to come on the air with us? He said, yeah, sure. He was pitching the next day, and we threw a headset on him, and he was just full of life, obviously, and loved the game of baseball, and he will be sorely missed. But for any of us that have been to that area, which their ballpark is in Little Havana in Miami, you know, they would sell. They used to call it Jose Day.
Yeah,
because they would sell usually 5,000 to 7,000 extra tickets when he would pitch. So gives you an idea of what he meant to that franchise too. And it really seemed like the best was yet to come because he was removed from Tommy John surgery and already was one of the best young pitchers in the game, and it seemed like he never lost at home. He lost twice. One of those times was earlier this year to the Cardinals. Here's Carson Kelly at the plate. For those that don't know, his story to get to the United States is an incredible story. Defected, was in jail at one point. Took him 3 attempts to get to the United States. 14-2 as we head to the 7th inning. Stadium.
But he's the happiest guy here.
He must be. He can look up and see his Cubs are winning and the Cardinals are, well, let's just say it hasn't been a pretty night. Second inning of work for Mike Myers. I will say this, Grateful Dead night at the ballpark was another rocking success. You were out there in the front row, Jake's leg, along with Tim Garcia. You had your tie-dye shirt on, and we had to remind you you had a game to do, and you were still dancing. It's incredible.
Well, fans of the Grateful Dead, they tend to not care too much about too many things.
There's reasons for that, Rick. Maybe you should start doing games for the Rockies.
See, he's happy. 14-2. It's all right.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Oh, yeah. Actually, that guy was in the front row with you. How'd we find him again? Incredible. Yeah. Grateful Dead night here at the ballpark. So the Reds are just trucking along.
That was terrible.
What?
That was pretty good.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. That gentleman that we had that shot of and who's sitting by himself, I'd love to see him interviewed by Jim Hayes. See if he enjoyed his experience here at the ballpark. As you know, the Cardinals put on a great experience here, Rick. And
yeah,
just to see if everything went well. Met expectations. Yep, old deadhead Horton. 2-2 pitch.
Mike Myers clearly happy to get the recall after the rough
anyway,
start.
Rick, there was a Deadhead concert.
No. Let's talk about this guy.
Oh.
Don't you think he had a little redemption getting called back up and getting a chance to pitch again? That first start, that had to be hard to deal with.
That'll help too. He gets one of the best hitters in the game to fly out. Joey Votto to left for the first out. Myers has seen 4 and retired 4.
Well, I think it's the point you were making about Luke Weaver. You just don't want a young pitcher. Myers was one of the best starters for AAA Memphis, and he had a bad experience at the big league level. You don't want him to sit on that all winter long and think, you know what, maybe I'm a minor league guy. I can't pitch at the big league level. You don't want a young guy to leave that thought in his mind. You want to finish strong somehow.
And a base hit into left field. You know why it's still a good night at the ballpark? You still can get a ballpark hot dog.
Oh yeah,
that's the
among
best
other
meal.
things.
Yeah, but that's the best. Ballpark hot dog is the best. You cannot convince me otherwise. Generations of fans. That's a young Cardinal fan and apparently a young Deadhead apparently. Kind of brings a tear to your eye when you think about generations of Deadheads. Come watch Jake's leg before the game and then take in some Major League Baseball.
I've always thought that the best part about young people being at games with their parents or their uncle or brother, sister, just young kids being here is they don't remember the score. Years later, they remember the experience. I took my son to watch Gretzky play the year he was with the Blues. And I can't tell you whether they won or lost. But I can tell you that that was a really cool day to be with my son talking to him about how good Gretzky was. So I imagine there are fans here that will have that same experience. Sometimes forgetting details is a good thing.
Like tonight.
Right. And it's more than just a detail, clearly. But the older you get, the more you feel it. And remember it.
Nice play there by Carson Kelly. Never too early to start with the rally caps. Or fall asleep.
It's catching on. I think it has something to do with the carbs they're handling.
Two outside. Last time that the Reds had 19 hits against the Cardinals, Mark Whiten had 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. That was in 1993. Hard hitting Mark Whiten. Chop to the left side, charged by Jerko, and he makes the play. Runner advances to second, and there's 2 down.
93, 94, 95, those are some dark years for Cardinal baseball. You think about how Bad the 94 season ended with the strike. Nice play by Jerko, off balance throw. Again, you just have to keep playing if you're the Cardinals here in this game and hope that leads to something better down the road. But that 93 season was frustrating. The 94 season was frustrating for everybody.
Season cut short, no World Series.
And the 95 season beginning with ballparks with 5,000 people in them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. Broken bat and a base hit into left. They'll hold the runner.
That's called mercy. Jams him, broken bat. Hit number 20. Well, the Reds are going to start playing some of their younger players, but the guys in the game are already young. A lot of them are.
So runners at first and third with 2 outs. Brings in Selski. He's had a big night with 4 hits. Hernan Iribarren is the runner at first base. They're in the bottom of the 8th. 7-3 Marlins over the Mets. And that's ripped into center field for a base hit. 21 hits tonight for the Cincinnati Reds. And what a night for that young man, Selski. 5 hits.
Selski had 9 big league hits coming into this game.
Into center, Pham with a sliding catch.
Be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. It has been all Cincinnati here tonight. 15 runs, 21 hits for the Reds. Adelman, the starter, has thrown just 73 pitches through 6 innings and a 15-2 Cincinnati lead. Frustrating night for Cardinal fans and players alike. Matt Adams leads off for St. Louis in the 7th. Adams 0 for 2. He struck out and has flown out to center.
You know what time it is?
I think I know what you're going to say.
It's time to change the luck.
All right.
Rick will do the play-by-play here in the bottom of the 7th.
And you will provide the color.
You got it.
Swing and a miss by Adams, 0-2. Adelman working with a huge lead, free and easy here tonight. Next pitch in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Barnhart.
You know, Rick, back in my days, South St. Louis, every once in a while with a wiffle ball, you jump out to that 0-2 count. And
I got a
really
promo I can read here.
You really did want to waste a pitch like that. Go right at him when you're up by 13. Go ahead.
As I've told you before, you don't have to say go ahead. You just stop and then I go.
I'm new to this.
You'll be fine. Keep at it. 2-2 the count to Adams.
Get up. Well, I can't cheer either.
Nope. No cheering. What happened here, Danny?
This pitch is in on his hands and just enough, and with that he fouled it back. But I can tell you, we'll make sure and get the Plaza Tire Fox tracks in.
Very smooth. Ground ball up the middle. It's handled by the shortstop, and he throws out Adams for out number 1. He's 0 for 3. Peraza, very good player.
Wait a minute, this is when I'm supposed to go. So back in my day, I'd be down there and I would literally, Rick, it was really interesting. I would take players and lift them up by their jerseys and hang them in lockers and say, what's your problem?
So
anyway, go ahead.
You were kind of a team leader.
Well, go ahead.
Of sorts. Ball 1.
That's what they call a breaking ball.
Boy, you're good. Peralta 1 for 2. He doubled and scored.
Over here and then turn it.
In
pull
the
lampshade. You want to pull down on a lampshade.
It's all about timing when you're doing this job, Dan.
Oh. Ah, yes. Great Rick Ankiel. Go ahead.
The 1-1. Hit foul.
I'll never forget, too, in South St. Louis, we had this thing called the Raboski. And if it got a little muddy, and we never had a rain out, but if you got out there and it was a little muddy, you had that to clean out your spikes. Go ahead.
Ball high, 2-2.
See, this is the time when I'd really want to bear down and say, I'm making a statement. Watch out for me.
Swing and a miss. Peralta strikes out. And that's number 3 for Adelman.
Little late life there, Rick. Up in the zone, got him to chase a ball. And Peralta had a double earlier. As you can see, chased that pitch. Little up in the zone, but you know he'll be back at it again tomorrow. Go ahead.
Again, you don't have to say go ahead, but you're starting to get it. You're getting in the groove here. 2 outs, nobody on. Cardinals half of the 7th.
Let me tell you something. You guys have been stealing, okay? Stealing.
Swing and a long fly to right. This is deep, but it'll be handled by Selski, who is having a big day himself. The Cardinals go quietly in the 7th. Dan's doing a great job trailing 15-2.
And we're back to doing our normal jobs. Dan and Rick with you, and there's a look at the numbers for Sam Tuivailala. Rick has the changes, and go ahead.
Well, I'm going to start with this change. Sam in the game, an opportunity for him. And we've been saying that about every pitcher that comes into this game, but you are showcasing yourself. It is getting towards the end of the season. And think about this, Dan. I understand that it's not a moment in time where you want to be thinking about rosters for playoffs in a score like this, but a week from now, we may be. And if you've got a couple of innings and a couple opportunities, you're going to want to show well. And here's an opportunity for Sam Tuivailala.
Rafi Lopez at the plate, looks at a ball high, and we're underway here in the 8th inning. 15-2 Cincinnati behind a 21 hit attack. I think one of the guys that you're looking at, if you get there, is, you know, well, I'd say guys, plural, but, you know, the pitching of Luke Weaver and Jaime Garcia.
Yeah.
Garcia very good out of the pen, not a good start, lasted just 1 inning, gave up a couple of runs. But Weaver now 3 consecutive outings in which he's not been sharp. Good fastball there by Tuivailala.
Sam
1-2 the count.
Yeah, Tui has the stuff and the makeup to be an 8th or 9th inning guy at the big league level. He just has to put it all together. He has the velocity. He's working on the cutter, and you see a good future for him. Still developing. Part of the changes, the Cardinals do have a new first baseman. That's Jose Martinez. And I just learned today that I met Jose when he was 2 years old.
Right on cue to Martinez. Now I'm assuming he didn't remember it.
No, he didn't remember it, but he sure remembered the clubhouse because his father and I were teammates.
That's great.
His father was a first baseman, very similar body type. Carlos Martinez was his name, and played in the big leagues with the White Sox for a while, then the Indians and the Angels some. And he remembers moments of the White Sox time with his dad and Ozzie Guillen there, and Ivan Calderon was what. Of course, they know the Latins on the team. They were close and like family. But his dad played the game very well, good hitter, a lot of life, and Jose's just like that. Unfortunately, Carlos passed away from cancer at a young age, at 40. But Jose getting a chance to follow in his father's footsteps.
I'm not sure about this, but I think I'm right, which is, if people remember, our younger fans may not, but there's a famous play with Jose Canseco when he was with Texas, and a ball hits square off the top of his head. It bounces over the wall for a home run. I think it was Martinez's dad that hit that ball.
It was.
Oh, you found out?
I found out. It was.
We were talking about that during dinner tonight.
Well, I did some extra research, Dan, because that's part of what you do in this job over here.
Well, go ahead.
Once you kind of bring something up, I find out whether or not it's true or not.
So that fly ball, the one that hits off of Canseco's head, is off his dad's bat.
Exactly. And it was in blooper videos time and time again for years. That lasted 10 years. If you've not seen it, it is pretty funny.
Isn't that something? Here's Suarez, 1 for 5 tonight. 2 outs and nobody on. That pitch taken low.
But Jose, very, very joyful kind of player himself. And for those who may have missed his at bat against Chapman last night, pretty impressive the way he was trying to turn on a 104-mile-an-hour fastball. End up striking out on a pitch that was actually not a strike, but I think he's been an impact guy. I like the way he runs the bases, and he gives you a good at-bat every time.
Well, this is one of those guys that's making a name for himself for next year.
100%.
You know, the other thing, too, with Martinez, and he took a very realistic approach, and I talked to him about it on the road trip, but not being with Kansas City last year. And here's a guy that could have been very bitter. He won a batting championship and was not called up. A fly ball into right. And the Royals go on to win the World Series. He gets called up, makes one plate appearance. That's a ring on his finger. He said, well, timing wasn't right. You just move on. 15-2, and we move. Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who go the extra mile. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. In St. Louis, 15-2, Cincinnati leading the St. Louis Cardinals. Jed Gyorko will lead it off. We were talking about Jose Martinez prior to the break, and his father played with Rick Horton in Chicago. And here's the play. That's his dad. Here's the home run.
Use the glove or the top of the head. The glove is preferred.
1993. Yeah, that's one that probably lives on for a long time. Gyorko is 1 for 2 tonight. And the new pitcher is Wandy Peralta. Fastball taken high.
I think the point we're making about Jose, and really any Cardinal that gets hot here in the last week, is you end up going with the hot hand when you get a playoff opportunity. And if that's a wild card play-in game, if it's a whatever it is, to NLDS game, division series, who's doing it now becomes, I think, an important question. When you start thinking about rosters and starting lineups, the Cardinals, we all know, have used a lot of different starting lineups this year based on who's hot at the time. So the playoffs wouldn't be any different. Some tough decisions ahead if the Cardinals get to that point. Clearly more work to do before you worry too much about that.
Gyorko with a fly ball into right. Out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th.
I just don't want to see Steve Selski hit again in the 9th inning. He'd be the 5th batter with a 5-for-5 night.
There's a base hit into center.
The more you see, the more you like.
Selski, by the way, the first player in the major leagues to have 5 hits in one of his first 19 games since the Cardinals' Aledmys Diaz did that back in San Diego earlier this year. Jeremy Hazelbaker at the plate. And that pitch taken low and outside. Wainwright on the mound tomorrow for the Cardinals. Will come your way at 6:30. Game 2 of this 4-game series. Hazelbaker to second. Out there, barehanded, on to first, and safe.
I noticed the bare hand too by Peraza, the shortstop. Just be pretty confident in your abilities to think, well, I might as well forget the glove. That's just too much in the transition. Hazelbaker runs well, beats it out, but Peraza, really gifted shortstop. Wouldn't be surprised if they move Zach Cozart at some point, because he really is a guy that needs to be playing. They got him in the trade where they lost Todd Frazier. 3-team deal, and he was the key part of that trade. He was with the Dodgers at the time. He'd just gone over, been with a couple of other teams prior to that, but he's still young, and he's going to be one of the National League young shortstops, and that is a big list of people, isn't it, right now?
Seager, Diaz, list goes on and on. Yeah, Trevor Story
and Trey Turner.
Really, it's across Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Cleveland has a great young shortstop too. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Tied him up. Sends us to the 9th. 15-2 Cincinnati. Sure, as much as you are. Jerome Williams takes over for St. Louis. Rosario is at third base.
He had a scoreless appearance on the road trip. He hasn't had a chance to get back out there very much. There's a look at Rosario.
Crowd tonight, 34,942, 349-42.
Ball finds you.
Rosario makes the play. Alberto Rosario, one of the best moments of the year, his first ever major league hit
I
in
love
Milwaukee.
that moment. Wasn't that great?
It's great.
Arms went up in the air. He started cheering, and you knew that that was the culmination of multiple years in the minor leagues. It was 11 years in the minor leagues that never resulted in a big league call-up. Multiple organizations. I had to think that the day would never come where he'd get that first big league hit, but it happened in Milwaukee.
And a lot of bus rides along the way. Popped up into shallow left. Jerko.
Minor league schedule and the hotels and the meal money and everything, not exactly the same as the big league.
A little different, huh?
Slightly different. I don't know if you noticed, Dan, in Colorado, the Colorado Rockies had problems with their minor league system, that the stadium in AA
on the road for the entire year
was not built in time, so they played 150 games on the road. No thank you.
They said one of the reasons that David Dahl looks so thin is that because they're on the road, he had dropped 15 to 20 pounds this summer. Base hit into center. Hit number 22 for the Reds tonight. That's Ivan DeJesus Jr. That is some hard travel.
And as I thought about that story for them, isn't that really what umpires do? They're always on the road.
They try to get, if you're from a major league city, they'll try to get them back a few times throughout the year, but yeah.
But they're not all from major league cities, but they are, not only are they always on the road, they're always kind of
unwelcome guests.
Right. They're interlopers.
Chevy called to the pen. Fourth appearance. 4 1/3, 3 walks, couple of strikeouts in his 3 innings of work. 22 hits tonight by the Reds, most this year for them. And they've scored 15 runs and lead at 15-2. Tommy Pham will lead it off.
You know, one of the things that's gone on with the Reds the second half of the season, Dan, is that their bullpen has gotten a little bit better. They've had a number of guys who have been starters that they put out there, and Lorenzen would be one of them. Homer Bailey's actually in their bullpen right now. And they're trying to find guys that might work for their bullpen in years to come. I think that's going to be a long-term good thing for them.
Base hit into center, and a happy 44th birthday to Brian McElroy. Brian McElroy watches games all the time throughout the season, and happy birthday, Brian. Base hit for Pham. Right now, she just said to her friend, you know what? Few bloops and blasts, and you never know.
That's right.
Carson Kelly.
Really know our fans, Danny.
Absolutely. 2-0 pitch to Kelly. Popped out.
We've talked about this a couple of times, but the feeling now, 15-2. Man, this has been a bad night. All the things that you're feeling 24 hours from now. I'm not foreshadowing it. I'm just saying it's possible that we will be feeling entirely different 24 hours from now. That's the great thing about baseball.
Kelly pops it up to the other side. It's playable. But there's DeJesus who makes the catch. Cubs hold on for a 12-2 win, so they have 100 wins for the first time since 1935. Budweiser player of the game, Adam Duvall, 4 for 6, couple of homers, 5 driven in, 4 runs scored.
It's been a good enough night for the Cincinnati Reds that you can go 5 for 5 and you don't make the player of the game.
Thinking the same thing. Had a lot of choices for your player of the game.
5 for 5, you just didn't do enough for us. Sorry, we're going to give it to Duvall.
Here's Brian Pena. That Selski went.
He's disappointed.
5 for 5.
Look at him. I can't believe I'm not player of the game.
Yeah, he is pretty upset. Mr. Selski, Brian McCann is in our truck. You can find him. He selected you as the non-player of the game. Pena pops it up.
Think our friends are still talking about bloops and blasts?
I'm sure Tommy, our director, will find them and see if they're talking about bloops and blasts.
Staying positive, I bet. Well, no, maybe not. Well, so much for that.
Even they said, what do you say, sister? Let's get out of here. But you know what? They're headed over to Ballpark Village. Into shallow right, and it's caught. Let's just go to the post-game show. I don't need to hear your thoughts on this one, Ricky. All right?
You've already heard them.
15-2 the final. Hungo and Scott Warman standing by. They're off to Ballpark Village. Watch out, Hungo.